Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to Creator on Wheels. I am Shiv and hope you guys are doing happy and healthy. I almost thought that the series about why I picked up a Honda Hness 350 would be done, but looks like I have to do one more video. And in the last two videos, there were a lot of people who were actually asking me why I didn't speak about a couple of specific bikes or why I didn't test ride them and things around that. So I thought okay, let me make one more video and probably one last video about this entire topic about why Hness over the other bikes. The two bikes the discussion in the comment section are the TVS Ronin and the RE Classic 350. Oh my god, I seriously didn't expect people to ask so much about these two bikes. Yeah, why I sold Java, that is fine. Why not Hunter, why not Meteor, those were fine, but these two were also most asked bikes as to why I didn't consider them. I have a reason for both of them. Probably I missed telling about this in the very first video, but let me take this opportunity to explain this. First of all, let me start with the TVS Ronin. So TVS Ronin was already announced by the time I started thinking about it, and I had seen the display bike in a showroom which is pretty close to my house. I had seen it in the very first week. They were not giving test ride as of that moment, but I had seen the bike, the top end model, which I had seen. And one thing is, first, before me even going into the test drive aspect, let me be very clear and make few statements that when I started my biking during my college days, the first two bikes that I had were from TVS. The very first bike I owned was a TVS Victor, and the second bike which I picked up after I got my job was the Apache 180. Now these were the two TVS bikes that I had. Fantastic bikes, no question about them. Keep aside the Apache RTR 180, the Victor was one gem of a bike, and during that good old time, the type of mileage that it used to give, it was unbelievable. So in past I've had very good experiences with the TVS bikes, but this time around, when I was not considering the TVS Ronin, it's not really about the bike, but specifically about this whole dealership experience. So maybe I was not really drawn away from the aspect that the bike looks a little bit weird, because when I was seeing the launch videos, which were, I think it was done in Goa if I'm right, and a lot of the auto journalists, when they did videos about it, everyone were confused about the looks. And to be frank, when I actually went and saw the bike for the very first time, even I was wondering what is it? Is it like a classic bike? It is a modern bike? Is it a scrambler? The mudguard shape, everything was a little bit off. It was not very pleasing. It was not like the Hunter, which you look at a Hunter, it's a wow, it's a good bike, it's a good looking bike. TVS Ronin was not one of those. The very odd looking mudguard. Something that really caught my attention was this off center poking speedometer, which kind of kept on reminding me about the Java 42. Not that it is bad, but I don't seem to have got used to that aspect, so that was another thing. So the 225cc or odd, that was not really a concern for me, but I wanted a very good bike, and as I told you, it was for a city commute. And something which really impressed me was the whole set of accessories that was available during the time of the launch itself. TVS told about everything, right from pannier stays, the carriers, so many things, numerous accessories. But when I actually asked in the dealership, they told we don't know when we are getting that accessory, but that's fine. Most of the accessories look good, so it was just a matter of getting in touch with few dealership to see who can get it faster. What really didn't impress me, other than the design language, was definitely this color option. The top end model just had two color option. I don't know the exact names of it, but one was orange and other was this very titanium or bronze kind of a color. I don't know the exact color, as I told you, but the limited options of the color, and I'm very very choosy about the colors of the bike or the car that I have. So the limited color option was definitely a negative point for me. And the main reason, I'll tell you the main reason why I didn't go for the TVS Ronin is because I didn't get a test drive. Now you might ask me, like, just because you did not get a test drive does not mean that it's bad. So what really happened is, a week after the bike was launched, I went to the dealership. I saw the bike. I asked them if it is available for test ride. They told I might have to wait for a few more days, which I was okay. Then I told I'll come back. Then I went back to the dealership after probably several weeks. By the time I knew that the vehicle test drives had already started. But this particular day when I went, and I took my wife also along with me, because most of the test rides I did it along with her, so that I know what happens, like when the pillion is sitting and the pillion comfort, everything, all of which were a big drawback from my good old Java days. I go to the showroom, they tell me that they don't have a test drive bike, and I told them that I did see a test drive bike few days or so back. What happened? So they told, like, there are some issues, sir, so we are not giving the test ride. The bike has a little bit of problems, we are just like stop giving test rides. I told, like, can I have a look at the bike once again, because there was nothing in the showroom had no TVS Ronin at all. So they discussed internally, and they told, like, I can actually go to the warehouse where they keep all the bike stock. I can go and have a look at it there, but again, I can't sit on the bike or I can't ride the bike. I just have to see where it is. I told I'm fine with that. I just had to see it once again. And the warehouse was like literally walking distance away from the showroom. So I go to the warehouse, and the guy there, whoever that person is, he guides me to the place where one specific bike was parked. And I asked him, like, you have only one bike? He told, like, yes sir, this is a test ride bike. So then I asked him, like, why are you not giving test ride? Then he told, like, one of the customers who took it for a test ride fell off the bike and the bike has got damaged. So I asked him, like, why haven't you repaired it? So the response that he gave was, like, this bike being new, some of the components which have got damaged have not come yet, and it's been 2 weeks since they have been waiting for it. So he did not tell 2 days. I asked him again, it was 2 weeks since the time they were actually waiting for some of the components. And I asked him, when are you expecting the components? He told, like, we don't know sir, we have been following it with them because a lot of people are asking for test ride, but because the bike is not in a rideable condition, that's why we are not giving a test ride, but we might have to wait for another 1 or 2 weeks. This turned me off, because the company, or the dealership rather, does not have a backup bike, or probably the company is not sending the spares for the bike, crucial spares for the bike, which is launched and it's there for I think almost a month. And in fact, there was a lot of demand for this bike, probably because of the way it sounds, or probably because of its price factor or whatever. But when the dealership themselves, this is one of the bigger dealerships in Bangalore. Like, this is not a chotu shop, like this is like a big dealership here in Bangalore. They themselves are not able to speak to the company and come up with some kind of an arrangement for an alternate bike, or probably even fixing the bike. Then what confidence will I get when I buy that bike? Like, assume, touch wood, like I buy that bike without doing a test ride, like the stupid mistake that I did with my Java 42. I go and something happens to the bike breaks down, or the bike falls, something happens, XYZ, and I take it to the service center, and they say that I have to wait for several weeks to get it repaired, because the spares have not come, just because of the fact that it's a new bike. That is not acceptable. First of all, you have to wait for several weeks or something to get hold of the bike. There was a waiting period after the advance booking, and on top of it, the spares were not available, and there was no news whatsoever about the accessories, numerous accessories that was promised along with this particular bike. So I just decided, when you're going to buy something, be it a bike or a car or anything, probably even a phone, it should give you some kind of like a positive vibes about that particular thing. It's like you'll be having it like with you every day, every single day. So it kind of needs to give you positive vibes. And this, when I saw that bike standing there in the warehouse in one corner, not even able to get itself rectified because of a fall that it had, it did not give me any kind of like a confidence at all. So that was one of the key reason why I decided, no, as much as I trust TVS that they make very good bikes or very good vehicles, TVS Ronin is not for me, and I just skipped it. One other thing related to the Ronin is that fast forward to today, which is almost the end of the year 2022, if you see the number of TVS Ronin on road, that itself is a testimony to what's happening to the bike. Not many people are buying it. I don't know the reason. The reason might not be same as mine, but probably it's a waiting period, or probably it's to do with the color options, or whatever. Probably it's to do with the after sales service or anything. But as I told you, the number of vehicles itself is a testimony of what's the condition of the bike. Now coming to the big boy in the room, which is the RE Classic 350, the new revised edition. A lot of folks ask, like, you spoke about Hunter, you spoke about Meteor, you spoke about this, you spoke about that, why didn't you test ride the new Classic 350 and all that? Yes, I intentionally didn't try out the Classic 350, but let me tell you frankly, the new engine, the new Classic 350 is definitely one of the best one out there in the market, all thanks to the tried and tested engine which is there in the Meteor, which is there in the Hunter. So whoever has it in my circle, or whoever I've seen riding it, seem to be very happy, very refined, everything is fine, because as I told you, it's a tried and tested engine. But somehow I didn't want it to be one more fish in the ocean having that RE 350. RE comes with a lot of good points. Like, I mean, there are numerous good points. I mentioned it even for the Hunter and even the Meteor. It has numerous color options. It has all these combinations of dual channel ABS, single channel ABS. No question about the accessories that RE gives, either as a company itself or outside any of the third party accessories. There are thousands of them available, and it's a good bike, but every other person on the road has one or the other form of Classic 350. Okay, I can probably record videos 5 continuous days going to office and while coming back, and we can count the number of Classic 350 that I bump into. So Classic 350 was a better bike than whatever was already there in the 350 series in the RE portfolio, but it was not different. Hunter was different, Meteor was different, but those were not the bikes for me. One was small, one was big. And again, Classic 350 is not a small bike in any way. It's like 195 kgs if I'm right. And again, there was this confusion about, I didn't want to go back to a spoke wheels. I wanted something with an alloy wheels, and this new one had every single combination. Like, you just open up the configurator in the RE website, there are like numerous combination. Colors are good, everything, engine is good, but again, it confuses you a lot. And having said that, it's one bike that everyone wants to buy, and I didn't want to be that person one more person who also owns a RE350. And that's the reason why I didn't even try to take a test ride of the RE350, the Classic 350 rather. Instead, I just did a test ride of the Hunter and the Meteor only. And again, even for this one, I don't think so the waiting period was less. I remember inquiring about it just to check, like, what is the waiting period for the Scram 411, the Hunter, the Meteor and all. Even the Classic 350 had a very long waiting period, and I'm one of those impatient fellows, so definitely was not ready to wait. And again, it was not a matter of waiting. It was my decision not to go with something which I felt that everyone else has. In fact, like, just to give you a context, when I bought my car, which is the Polo, which is like probably about 12 years back, not many or not any people had Polo. Okay, this was one of the first generation Polos. I took the top end model, but everyone were like reluctant on taking a Volkswagen car, and especially a Polo, because it was expensive. Okay, and at around 8 or 9 lakhs way back in, I think, say 2011 if I'm right, that was not affordable hatchback. Okay, but over a period of time, everyone got convinced that that is the best hatchback, even though it was expensive. And again, the German car aspect was something which was backing it. So I didn't want to go for yet another Swift or yet another i20s or i10s. I went for the Polo just for this reason, that I wanted something good. I wanted something best. I didn't wanted something like better than whatever is there in the market. Anyway, long story short, hopefully I was able to convince, or if not convey, the point as to why I didn't consider the TVS Ronin and the RE Classic 350 when I was picking up this particular bike. So I think this draws a conclusion to this. Probably I think it's the 3-part series of why Honda Hness 350 was my preferred choice for the bike, the classic, neo, retro, classic bike, or whatever you want to call it. All this references or cross references kind of video will stop here. Going forward, I'll have some specific videos about the accessories, what accessories I have chosen. In fact, like I've just finished a little bit of one specific video which is about why you really don't need to pick up specific accessories, or why you don't need to accessorize your bike. So that's one video that is coming up. That's definitely be in the coming weeks. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for all the encouragement and the interaction in the comment section. If you really like this video, please hit the like button, and if you feel that any of your friends or family members are looking for references to videos wherein we're talking about Hness versus Classic 350 and the TVS Ronin, probably you can share it with them, and if they like it, or if you like it, probably even subscribe to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Matte sigana.